guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Attorney Reacts. Your favorite crazy cop videos just got better because now they come with a lawyer's reaction. Hey, I'm Josh Sanford, I'm America's attorney, and today, I'm reacting to a video titled Murphy North Carolina Probation Officer Pulls Me Over for Speeding from the channel WB. Let's check it out.
So I'm on the side of the highway about 300 yards from Georgia. This guy right here was in the left lane going about 40 miles an hour, and I'm trying to go around him. He pulls his badge out, points me to get over in this lane. He's been 5 miles in the left lane and will not get over. And he jumps out, says, "I'm a police officer, give me your license." He shows me a badge that says he's a probation officer. And I called 911, and now they're sending a North Carolina state trooper out to the scene. So he's gonna start filming us now because he's got all butt hurt.
You guys probably know that not every police officer...
Sir, you can film me all day long.
Let me say this. You guys probably know that not every police officer can investigate every person for every crime, right? So we'll explain this in a little bit, but that's the context for what's going on here. Wow. Nice work, buddy.
If you're a police officer, you should have a body camera because you're not a police officer. It says right there, you're a probation officer. I'm not on probation. I've never been in trouble for anything.
In the state of Alabama,
Tell my camera again how you're a police officer.
will you answer my question? Now, let me ask you a question. In the state of Alabama, what are your probation officers considered to be?
I have no idea. We're not in Alabama.
Okay. Do you live in Alabama? Because your tag says you're in
I guess when a police officer gets here, we'll determine a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
How often do you pull someone over?
How often? I pull people over.
How often do you drive in the left lane for 5 miles going 48 miles an hour?
I'm doing 48 miles an hour, sir.
So how fast were you going?
I was doing 55.
And what happened?
You come flying up on
No,
my back
when I
end?
passed you, I was going 48 miles an hour. But if your car here, that's not a police car, had the radar in it, you would know how fast I was going.
Yes, sir. And I'm able to do speed estimations.
I'm sure you will be. I guess when your real police officer gets here, I'm sure I'm going to get some tickets.
All right. Well,
I gotta pause it for a second and talk about speed estimations. Now, you guys know that when you get charged with a crime, the prosecutor can't win the case unless they can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed a crime, right? Like, you know this, okay? Speed estimations, that is not gonna cut it. It's not gonna cut it, but probation is different. Actually, well, I have a lot to say on this. I don't wanna spoil it though. Let's keep watching the video and see what happens.
you just stay tight. Just hang tight, okay?
What's your name? Would you like to identify yourself?
Have you going to give me your driver's license?
You're not a police officer.
Okay, then you just said tight.
So you're refusing to identify. You're refusing to identify yourself.
Just sit tight.
You're refusing to identify yourself, even though you pulled.
If this guy was a real cop, he would immediately give his badge number. This is so preposterous. I cannot believe he's like, "Oh, you're filming me? I'll film you. Oh, you won't tell me your name? I'm not gonna tell you mine." Do you know, in some states, I'm considered a cop. What state are we in right now? No, in some states, I'm considered a cop. Man, wow. This guy has given all the great probation officers out there in the world a bad name.
Me over.
Sit tight.
No, this guy knows he's messed up. But his buddy here will bail him out with a whole bunch of tickets.
Roger that. Wow, it's a pretty sky though. I mean, that's something.
Am I being detained? Am I being detained, sir? Because I've got to go home.
That is a great question. You should always ask that question because, as you know, if the officer says that you're being detained, then you actually can't leave. That's considered fleeing. An officer has a right to detain you if they suspect that you have committed a crime, right? You know this. But the detention can only be for a reasonable amount of time and only long enough to determine what they can determine about whether that crime was committed. And this guy is just standing there on the side of the road like such a doofus. He's probably a super great probation officer, not a great highway cop. That's what I'm going with so far.
Are you detaining me? Are you detaining me? Am I being detained? Hey, I'm gonna step out. Cause you're. Am I being detained because I need to be on my way? Is this a lawful stop? Am I being detained? Are you detaining me? Are you detaining me?
Oh my word! He can't not tell him! He can't not tell him. I mean, so he's asked him repeatedly if he's being detained. If the guy won't tell him yes, then he's not fleeing if he leaves. He's not resisting arrest. He's not upsetting, disturbing an investigation. If he won't tell him that he's being detained, he's free to leave. My problem is he might be talking real quietly and he might be saying yes to that guy. And so I don't want him to leave just yet, but I'm like this close. I'm so close.
To understand, because you know this is not legal. This is not legal. And you know this.
As dumb as that
Will
guy
you answer
is.
my question? Am I being detained? Am I being detained?
He's not saying yes. He's not saying yes. As dumb as this guy is, he actually does know that he has to answer this question. He knows that he has to tell him whether he's being detained or not. This is abusive. I mean, it's also funny, but it is actually abusive, and it's not funny at all. I'm very upset, very upset.
No, you're not trying to. Am I being detained? Because you know the law on that. Am I being detained?
I can't believe this.
Hey, I'm gonna leave now because you won't tell me if I'm being detained or not.
I have no problem with that.
Am I being detained? Say it. Sir, am I being detained? Will you say those words?
Oh.
You can either, am I free to leave? Am I free to leave? So I am being detained.
Okay, he finally said it. How many times did he have to ask? Holy cow. So here's the deal. The officer knows this is not a lawful detention. He knows it. It's not a lawful detention. So he won't answer this straight up question, am I being detained? Because if he's not being detained, he's free to leave. But the officer doesn't want him to leave. So when he says, am I free to go? The officer is like so dim-witted that he's like, no, you're not free to go. Oh, just so you guys know, if the officer says that you're not being detained, but also you are not free to go, you are being detained. You are absolutely being illegally detained. This is so nuts.
Why don't you answer that? You're not talking to anybody now. How long can you keep me on the side of the road as a prisoner? Am I free to leave right now? Am I being detained? Why don't you say that? Am I being detained? What am I being detained for?
Well, if you paid attention to me and listened to me a few minutes ago, I was trying to explain all this to you, sir, but you did not wish to listen to me. You wanted to talk over me.
Oh, he's detaining him because he talked over him. Rude. That's actually not a crime. Oh my word. These guys are gonna hurt my ribs.
Am I being detained? How long does a Terry stop last?
Oh, do you guys know what that is? A Terry stop is the pre-arrest detention. This guy actually knows his rights. I cannot believe it. Now, what makes me laugh is that I bet that the officer is like scrambled in his brain. He's like, a Terry stop. I've heard of this. Oh yeah. That's from the Supreme Court. And that's a thing I'm not authorized to do because I'm not actually a cop. Wow. I wish I could see the counter up on the screen for am I being detained? But I know it's gotta be really high right now. Man.
Yes, I need to go home because we're on vacation. Am I free to leave? Am I being detained? Why won't you say those words? You know, you're well versed in the law. You are a law officer. You told me that. Am I being detained? It's a yes or no question.
I told you you're not free to leave yet.
So am I being detained?
I just answered that.
Why can't you say that? You're mincing words.
Sir, do me a favor and have a seat.
I will. Am I being detained? I'll get back in my car. Am I being detained? What's so hard to answer?
You're giving her a headache.
That's
You
fine.
Just be quiet.
That's fine. You're just why can't you answer my? You know you're in the wrong.
He
You
totally
know you're
knows
in the wrong. That's why you're sitting there with that fake smirk.
Just sit tight.
I want to go home.
I cannot believe this.
How long is a Terry stop last? Am I free to go? Am I being detained? Those are yes or no questions. For how long? I'm gonna go home now. I'm going home now. Am I free to go? Am I being detained?
He won't answer him. This is insane.
So what am I being detained for? Am I being detained?
He says it's not a Terry stop. It 100% is a Terry stop. The answer is 20 minutes, okay? They can't keep you any longer than 20 minutes. They gotta let you go. This is just, I cannot believe this officer. Wow.
Am I being detained?
Aggressive driving is what you've done, sir.
Am I being detained? Are you making a citizen's arrest?
Ha! Oh!
Sir, you know you pulled me over 15 minutes now. How long is the Terry stop? Can you call your supervisor? Call your supervisor, please, right now.
The officer could just go to Google and find out how long a Terry stop is, but then he'd have to shut down the recording that he's making. So he doesn't want to do that. This is just so preposterous. Wow.
I don't see you making a move to call your supervisor. So you can't call on the radio your supervisor?
I wish we could hear the officer.
Sir, I may leave here with a couple of tickets, but you're going to leave with a bunch. Hey, you see that? If you're out here patrolling the highways...
Yeah, I got one person at a time that I can deal with.
How fast was that car? You're an expert on speed. How fast was that car going?
Oh, my word.
What'd you tell me?
I don't have radar. I can't judge speed. Sir, I'm asking you again. Will you call your supervisor? I should leave now. It's over 10 minutes.
So he shouldn't actually leave because the risk to him is way worse because they will go after him probably if he leaves. And he's not, we're 9 minutes into the video. I don't know how long earlier than that he was pulled over, but it hasn't been the 20 minutes. So we'll see.
On this recording. I'm so nervous. I'm shaking so bad right now. So how long do we sit here?
He's till the state trooper gets here.
That's a great answer.
Sir, will you call your supervisor?
Wow.
So how long am I being detained? That's not the way the law reads, and you know what a Terry stop is. A Terry stop is 15 minutes or less.
I disagree with that.
Yes. So am I free to go? Am I free to go? I don't have to go to college to get a law degree to know the law. 15 minutes, Supreme Court ruling, Terry versus the state of Ohio. All right, how about that? Where'd you get your law degree?
Where did I get my law?
Yeah. Western Carolina University. I'm glad you have a law degree. So I have to have a law degree to know the law? No, all I want you to will you answer one question?
Calm down. One, if you'd relaxed and had a conversation with me here, we'd probably both going about our ways doing our jobs.
Oh, my word.
And me going to do my job. You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
I understand what you're trying to say.
The only thing I was doing was stopping you, getting you pulled over so one, you calm down and quit endangering other people's lives.
I wasn't endangering nobody's life.
Sir. Yes, sir.
We're in more danger when you got me pulled over right here than we were out here going up and down this highway.
Possibility of truth.
So I'll tell
Yes.
you what I'll do.
That's true.
Since we're talking and being calm, will you answer one question for me, and I won't say another word to the state trooper. Am I being detained?
You have been stopped until I can get a trooper here to have a talk with you because you cannot talk to me.
Why is that not a yes or no question?
Well, because I've done answered that question. You asked me, are you being detained? I've said, you have been stopped.
But you won't say, am I free to leave then? Since you won't answer
I've
that
already
one.
answered that question.
So you won't say if I'm being detained
I've
or not?
already answered that question, sir.
No, you hadn't, and you know
Yes,
it.
sir, I have. You're not listening to me. You're too...
So the Supreme Court's rule about detention is 20 minutes. Many states have shortened that. My state is 15 minutes. I really doubt this guy knows the length of a Terry stop in the state where he is since he's on vacation or whatever, but 15, 20 minutes is pretty normal. If I understood the cop correctly, he said, the reason that you're still pulled over is that you didn't show me respect when I was talking to you. And that is a reason that people cannot stand cops, because it is not about respect. It's not about respect. And the idea that he's gonna hold him until another officer gets here to give him like a talking to is preposterous.
Oh, I am agitated, but because a probation officer pulled me over for going 48 miles an hour because he was in the left lane for the last 5 miles and wouldn't get over.
You sit tight here, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Here he is, good.
All right, get some action.
So here's the state
You better
trooper.
calm down and
I
finish your
am going to calm
license
down.
out.
I
Have
got
some
my license
insurance.
out.
Oh man. Am I being detained? That one doesn't count. Don't put that on the counter. That sounded like him, but that wasn't him. He's getting a little money out just to make sure the state trooper is, you know.
So it don't matter. He's back there telling his version, so.
Man, this is so avoidable.
No, this guy's about to go YouTube famous because he ain't got the authority to pull us over. Now here's another car.
Well, he's on
I know
Attorney
you
Reacts. I would say
You think
that's
that I brought all
something.
this on ourselves? You think this guy was gonna give us a talking to? He was gonna call his buddies in anyway.
Come on, I want the officer. Speed this thing up.
Hey, sir.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. Hey, look, I don't really fully understand what
Me
Ha!
we're doing right here. Okay, so he just felt like you were aggressively coming up on him. He's a probation officer. Okay, so I'm not gonna write you for anything. I'm not doing anything like that. Okay, you got your insurance here.
I'm
sure
wound
your
up, and
license are good. I
you're
understand.
unwinding me. I appreciate
understand,
that.
Okay, so where you headed to? You headed back home?
Home to Alabama.
Okay. All right. So look, one of those things. Okay. You may have come up on him a little quick. He may have, it's one of them things. Okay. So as long as, I mean, like I said,
I'm good.
I don't have
now. I'm
anything
calm
to
my way
write you.
down.
I don't have anything to write you for. I don't have anything like that. I'm not going to do any. Even if I'm not going to. It's not my fault. He just feels, he just felt like you come up on him a little hard. You might have been a little aggressive. So if that is the case, let's just back it down a little bit. You're nearly to Georgia anyway. So,
That's why I say I can see
know
it.
what
I
I'm saying?
appreciate it.
So, all right. I mean, what do you do for a living?
We own a restaurant.
Restaurant, I got you. Okay. All right, sir. Well, I'm gonna let you carry on the way. Okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
I apologize to him if he'll walk up here.
Well.
No, I'm sorry you had to come out here and deal with
take
this
care of it.
stupidity.
I mean, he's wound up. I was wound up.
Yeah.
When he pulled up, he got up in my thing, and I'm like, I don't know if this guy's a police officer.
Okay.
All right.
Understandable.
All right. Thank you.
Be careful now.
Oh, look at him, hands on his hips. He's mad that he couldn't get nothing.
So you lucky.
Oh my
Motherfucker
goodness.
ain't got nothing. They probably chewing his eyes out.
What an unbelievable beatdown for the probation officer by the state trooper. I mean, that dude had made up his mind long before he got to the car that he wasn't gonna do a single thing. I mean, that guy is so far out over his skis. He doesn't have the authority to go pulling people over for moving violations. I wish more cops were like the state trooper, but the problem is there's too many of them that are like this probation officer, where it's about respect, it's about domination, it's about asserting your control over the population. Kudos to our restaurant owner. I'm sure that his food is really good, and I'm sure that he really does know his rights, and I hope you are the same way. I hope that you know that when you are being stopped, you have a right to find out, is this a detention under Terry versus Ohio? And if it is, they can only keep you for up to 20 minutes unless it's less in the particular state where you are. And not everyone has the right to pull you over, certainly not a probation officer, just because he's employed in law enforcement in his day job. But I do want to say this about probation officers, and this is crazy. Obviously, you know that you can't be convicted of a crime unless the prosecutor proves beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed the crime. But once you've been convicted, and let's say you get probation, or you've been to jail and you're out on probation, and you're dealing with the type of guy that's in this video, that guy, if he thinks that you have violated the terms of your probation and you get charged with violating the terms, they don't have to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. Not at all. They only have to prove 50.1%, more likely than not, that you committed a probation violation. So this guy is used to bullying people in his day job. As a probation officer, he's used to basically being able to say, well, I think that you violated the terms of your probation and it's gonna be real easy for me to win my case and I want you to do X, Y, Z, whatever. And that can turn law enforcement officers who normally are reserved and humble and want to serve into bullies because they've got too much power. That's my take on it. I wanna know if you have ever had an encounter with a law enforcement officer like this where you thought, hey, this guy is actually a little bit on a power trip. Get down in the comments and let me know. But that's not it. Remember how the restaurant owner said that the police officer was gonna become YouTube famous? Well, I want that prophecy to become true and I want you to be a part of it. And the way that you're gonna do that is to share this video. Tell everyone that you know who watches YouTube to check out this video because this behavior from cops is not okay. You cannot be asked X number of times, am I being detained, and not answer. That's just wrong. Hey, that's it for today's video. I'm Josh Sanford, I'm America's Attorney, and if you like my reaction to this video, there are more where this came from. Check out the entire Attorney Reacts channel for more reaction from some of your favorite law tubers. Thanks, see you soon.
Big verdict.